A devotee is checking in. To ensure check-in is complete, please give me your credit card.
Hello? Hello? Yes, Traw's finally back. Hello, everyone. Welcome. I figured because we were doing work on Traw's comic today, we might as well do it with Traw's model. Look, we gotta stay within branding. Hello, Arnie. Hello. Yo, 10 stream watch streak? Damn. Yeah, the Papa model art. Yeah. You know, a lot of people do call this like daddy art model, but technically within lore, they're supposed to be two separate characters. So Art and Tra are two separate characters in lore, but I don't care if you guys call me Art because I understand. Technically, Tra's name is just Art inversed. You actually want to know who named me Tra? There's my friend Arta Glacy. He started calling me Tra. Because I call him Garlic Boy and then he calls me Tra. So that's what started, and I was like, you named the male model, and now we must live with it. So Art and Tra are both the same of naming. Yes. Yes. It can be used interchangeably. Yes. Yes. Don't worry, all the other chaoses are named Art. I'm just gonna make it easier for you guys. All of the male models are named Tra, all of the female models are named Art. Okay? Easy. Papa Art it is. Okay. You know what? Yeah, just go with. Well, Papa Art is what I call my pops, so I don't. We're gonna get some confusing things, but it's okay. Actually, I think I do either Papa Art or because I don't like saying Daddy Art. Okay, how I would call my dad, I would call him Daddy, but not in a weird way. Okay, this was before Daddy became weird, man. Oh my gosh. Now I would just have to call him Father, and it's like. He would have looked at me and been like, what's with you suddenly calling me now Father? It's like, look, Daddy has been overly used as a sexual term. I literally cannot call you that in public anymore. I get it. I know, right? I mean, it's cute when you're like a child going, Daddy. But now it's like, you know, you're an adult and you call your dad Daddy. It's like, yeah. I don't call my mom Mommy, though. I call her Mama. I call her Mama Art. I really hate how Daddy is. I know, right? Because it's kind of sad, because it's like, as an adult, like, why can't I call my dad the way it is? I'll call them moms and pops now. I know, right? That's what I call my grandpa, though. I call him pops. That's what I call my grandpa. Or you know what you could do is you could also do Papa. Junior Pops then. Yeah, Junior Pops. Junior Pops. Oh my goodness. Yeah. But yeah, to keep within branding, like, you know, art and Tra are very interchangeable with stuff, so it's I don't care. Legally, legal name, this is Tra, but you can call me Art still. Because I'm still the same person controlling this thing. So yeah. There are some people that have like trying to like remember. There are some people that have like streams that like the account is like for 2 different people. But it's like twins and stuff. But they both have like different names. Like you know like Fuwamoko. So there's like Fuwa and there's Fuwa and there's Moko, right? Art and Tra, Art and Tra, Tra and Art and Tra, both parts of the whole, even separate. Yeah. But funny enough, lore will explain how they're not really that different. I'm writing the 3.0 lore. And there'll be like some mini fun comics that are gonna happen. Like once I debut all the other models, there's gonna be like some little like cute comic stuff, and also like all the chaoses talking together and talking with each other and chatting. And then there's gonna be like one where it's like starts to slowly reveal what the 3.0 lore might be, and then it's like, oh, the world is not as it seems. So yeah, because Draw's comic is gonna kind of kick it off, and then all the other comics are gonna come afterwards, and then I'm gonna be working on like other comics in between. So it's like all these are little mini comics that, when you all put them together, has an all overarching story. So yes, they're all separate. They can be all separate stories, but they all like connect to each other. After I'm done with Traws, I'm gonna be working on Falsehood and Truths. And then after that one is done, I'm gonna be working on like the next batch and the next batch. And then I'm gonna work on like a few itty bitty ones as well. So we have some comic stuff, right? And also I have like a few comics that all have to do with like lore towards my VTuber models, but also I just like writing stories with my characters. I like going more in depth with stuff. My tummy is not very happy today, so I might have to be going to the toilet a lot. I'm not sick. It's just I made something new and I don't think that my stomach is agreeing with it. I made like a new little like it's like supposed to be for like a snack, and I don't think that my stomach is agreeing with it at all. And I don't think it's because of the other stuff, because I am new food stuff have you rumbling. Yeah, they do. Rumbling. Sorry, I had to. What were the ingredients? So I think it's the red onions in it that is making my tummy grumbly. Because it is Greek yogurt. Uh-oh, yeah. I love red onion, by the way. I love raw red onions and like salads and stuff. So it's not like it's not like that bad. But the thing is like it's Greek yogurt, eggs, like hard-boiled eggs. I remember. Cucumber and red onions, and I was supposed to put avocado in it as well, and I forgot the avocado. And lime juice, or not lime juice, lemon juice. I put a little too much lemon juice. The one little slice of lemon that I had that I squeezed into it, apparently a lot of juice came out. Holy snap, that was a very juicy lemon. I blame the yogurt. Okay, so funny enough, if you're lactose intolerant, you can eat yogurt. Because the yogurt enzymes that already break down yogurt to be yogurt actually have already broken down the lactose for you. So you can actually eat it. So if you're lactose intolerant, you can eat yogurt. And I will say, I've been eating this for like a little bit, and I can attest, yes, I can eat it and be absolutely fine. So... It's like, yeah. So, yeah, it's because how yogurt is made requires it to kind of be... It's kind of like how you can eat some cheese if you're lactose intolerant, because some of the enzymes and bacteria that's in the cheese will already break down the lactose for you. That's kind of how yogurt is. So if you're lactose intolerant, eat yogurt. Eat yogurt. The Greek yogurt that I have is like plain Greek yogurt, so because it needed to be plain. It couldn't be flavored. It had to be plain Greek yogurt. Because it's like a high protein egg salad. But I put a little too much lime. And I'm thinking about maybe later today going and getting an avocado. I gotta walk to the store to go get an avocado. It's hot, but I'll walk to the store to get an avocado. I need to get some other stuff too, like really quickly as well. So, no ice cream though. I'm not dragging home ice cream. It would melt before I get home. Like anything that's like shelf stable, like avocados. I think I'll be able to get it home without much issue. If anything, the avocado might be right by the time I get home. That's how hot it is. Don't worry, I got sunscreen on. I put sunscreen on. I had to buy some more sunscreen because I ran out of sunscreen. Thankfully, I bought the sunscreen I needed before my sunscreen ran out. So, I also have sunscreen for my face, like particular sunscreen for my face that I put on in the morning. Because I will say this. Parts of my body tan. The other parts burn. we don't want a bright red Shrar art, okay? That's gonna be I'll be terrible. I'll be the worst. Oh my goodness. So anyway, trying to think. So we're gonna be doing art today. Art. But before we actually hop into the art, I actually want to talk about something. So there is on Twitter. I'm not gonna like pull this up because Twitter. I do not want to buy Twitter Blue. Stop it. Stop trying to make me buy that shit. I'm gonna be honest, if I had the money and stuff, I probably would. Just because I'm so sick and tired of the limit. I'm so sick and tired of like the text limit. I'm gonna be honest. If I had the ability to write longer stuff, I would write full on books. Y'all would be crazy. You'd be like, Art, stop posting full books. Like, look, shush. Let me. But let me look up the thing that I wanted to talk about. So, the thing I wanted to talk about was Live 2D. I should have saved it. I should have saved the damn thing. Where the hell is the update? Okay, well, now I gotta look through my likes and hope that it's in there. I bet it is, because I bet I liked it. No. Of course oh no, here it is. I like something else. So, Live 2D Cubism. So I need to talk about this. Live 2D Cubism, which is the program that every VTuber model that is 2D uses for rigging. Okay? That is the only program that really exists for rigging. Now, the thing is, the 5.3 full release came out in early January. Like, basically in January of this year. The problem was that release was really good. It came out with more blending modes, which a lot of people really like. I use soft light for a lot of my shadows. I don't use multiply. I had to use multiply on this model in order for it to work in VTube Studio. Or in order for it to work in Live 2D, in order for it to work in VTube Studio. Because VTube Studio does not let you allow soft light. Because the Unity stuff that VTube Studio needs in order for basically you to export that version out into Live 2D. So basically, Live 2D will export your model out. That model file is like almost like a Unity file that you pull into VTube Studio, and basically VTube Studio runs with Unity. Problem though, there wasn't a Unity SDK file that would connect it so that the file from a Live 2D 5.3 would connect in VTube Studio correctly. Because the alpha locks, the new like way to do alpha locking, or like basically you can finally lock a layer within a layer within a layer within a layer within a layer. That's what alpha locking provides. It's like multiple different ways of how you can lock something to each other, which is like super awesome. Really, really love it. Can't use it in VTube Studio because VTube Studio doesn't have the things to connect it up. And then if you want to use your model like rendering with soft light, can't do that either because Studio would not connect it. So we have been waiting for months and months and months and months and months for a Unity part of it to come out so that it would work. So we could finally use 5.3 with VTube Studio. And the thing is what I was concerned about, and I think a lot of riggers were concerned about, is that Live 2D would continuously update. And there would be no support for any of the updates going into VTube Studio. Meaning that all the new stuff that we get with Live 2D, we would not be able to use in VTube, like for any of our models. I literally have been stuck in 5.2 because I don't want to rig a model in 5.3. Because it won't translate over. But now there is an update from Live 2D, which is great. So Live 2D said, this is the actual post. You can go and look up Live 2D, like the official thing on X/Twitter. Cubism Editor 5.400 Alpha 1. So this is like basically beta testing. Limited release until September 14th. And then they said, so September 14th of this year. And then they said, we are also releasing Cubism 5 SDK for Unity R7 Alpha 1, which supports these new features at the same time, which means that the past features of the layer stuff, the clipping stuff, the new alpha lock stuff will probably be in there. I'm hoping it is, and I kind of want to experiment to see if that is the case. But honestly, I want to see like how other people are gonna do it, and then it's like, oh my gosh, it works. But there's a ton of new features. One of which is something that is from 3D. I'm a 3D artist. I know a lot of 3D work, and it's called IK, but it's basically inertia like things. When we do 3D models, because we're gonna be working with 3D models, I will show you how it works. So basically, when you take your arm, like straighten out your arm, when you bend your arm in and out, with 3D, or like how you're supposed to do it in live 2D, in order for me to do that action of like putting my arm out to the side and then pulling it back in so my elbow bends and then it like pulls my hand closer to my shoulder, that action, I would have to rake each individual part by hand. But now what they're doing is they're putting parameter control support where I can put a parameter and hook it up so that then it does the action for me. So it looks more natural. As long as you have certain things hooked up correctly. They showed like the way of how you can, so like the action of George or Fred getting petted, I had to rig that all myself, but with this, it's like a way of how you can do that petting thing without it, like without you having to individually like do it, or like individually animating it one by hand. Because what I would have to do is I would have to move the parameter like one portion here, one portion there. But now it's like, no, if you want to animate this thing, hand comes down and pats the head, and it will push the head down. And then when it also does it, it will close the eyes, like if you've hooked this up correctly. And so it will do all the action that you need to do and animate all the action that you need to do without you having to do anything except just fix where the placement is and the timing. And that's it. It's crazy. So that's like really cool. I mean, you could still go in and probably like edit some things in it, but it's a little bit easier. And then extended editing support. I guess it's like more editing things for certain stuff. Yeah, more editing for parameters and things. Okay. Enhanced automatic layout of texture atlases. You guys do not understand this because you don't see the back end. The way of how Live 2D sets up texture atlases, it would make any 3D modeler cry because it is so horrible. How the automatic setup is. So how the new setup is with Live 2D is it is so like there is no space that is like left out. It will optimize the space as best as possible, which is so great. And I like that it does it itself because I have had to be doing it by hand. All of Tra's stuff is done by hand. It was a nightmare. He has maybe like 4 or 5 texture atlases just for him to move. So the texture atlases are the little images of all the different layers, okay? And yeah, he got a lot of layers, but I just separate up stuff. So I separate stuff up for the hair, I separate stuff up for the head, and I separate the body, and I separate up the clothes. I also separate up toggles, like arm poses and things like that, just so that none of that stuff overlaps. But now with this new thing, I might be able to like condense it so much more, so I don't have like 6 or 7 texture atlases. Don't do the 6, 7 thing. I don't do the 6 or 7 texture atlases. It's like maybe 4, which is less, but it's honestly crazy. Like what they're kind of like doing. So that's gonna be like such a big improvement. And what I'm hoping for is that the Unity file that is gonna be going out is going to be also doing what we wanted with 5.3 so that we can finally actually use 5.3 and bring that over to actual models. Because if that's the case, oh, the heavens have opened up. I knew it was going to be some months because apparently on Live 2D's end, they were saying that it just wasn't ready yet, like things were breaking. So that's why VTube Studio kept saying like, hey guys, yeah, we don't have the Unity stuff for this, so we can't, you can't use it. Don't use it. Don't use 5.3 if you're making models, because VTube Studio does not like it. And then VTube Studio has been like doing a whole bunch of updates on its own, and I'm like, wow, doing everything except getting that thing. But I'm like, you know, it's a Live 2D thing. They just have to wait for Live 2D. So they can't do anything. And when that's the case, there's nothing that can be done. Anyways, let's go over to actually doing some work. So we only have 3 pages left to do, but let me just tell you this much. It's gonna take a bit. And what we'll do is we'll chat afterwards, because apparently, you know, I tried to change my streamiversary date to May, but because my streamiversary date is like in July, yeah. Just ignore it. We're not really gonna be doing much. I think it's 4 years for that, because that's when I became affiliate. Yes, it did take me a year to become affiliate, which is not uncommon. Sometimes it takes a year, sometimes it takes 2 years. Why? Oh yeah, because normally... Sorry. Normally today is a day off from streaming, so I have all my alarms for when I'm not streaming on, so... So there's gonna be some alarms going off. Let me move over. On a second. Let me pull up my drawing. Gotta pull up that drawing pen. So yeah. So there was one, actually, it was a clip posted out today talking about how I love Clip Studio EX. This is why. This is why I love Clip Studio EX. Look at this. So these are all separate files. So they're all separate files, but I can access them from one file. It's so good. I love it. It makes it a whole lot easier to do comics, okay? It makes a world of difference. Because then you can actually see like everything and how it's like structured. See how everything's structured. I know like some of this might be a little bit of like, oh my gosh, isn't that spoilers? You're gonna read it anyways, aren't you? But what I've been doing is kind of doing certain passes. So as you can see, there's some art that was done and then I stopped. And what I've just been doing is going back and redoing some stuff. There's some placement stuff that I've done here. A lot of 3D stuff. You'll also see that a lot of this is very much cheating. Like I'm gonna pull up this one. This one's not like too much of a... Turn text off. This one's not too much. But these are just like 3D hands. You know. So, and then I've been debating on actually separating this image up into 2 different images, like 2 different pages. But then I was like, no, I think it makes it much more interesting that it's him reflecting like down. Honestly, I'm thinking of just moving her like down more so that you can see. So it's like this is more like cut in half kind of thing. The one issue is that there might be some stuff here cut off. because, oh, there we go. That was, if you see here, there's like these lines. They're kind of a little hard to see, but there's these lines here. These lines basically tell you this is the cut of the page. This is like the bleed area. I know it looks like it's such a little bit of bleed, but, you know, and it's just, you know, I usually draw beyond the bleed very much, or beyond the cut of the page, just because that's good. So it's definitely a lot bigger than what it needs to be. This image, by the way, is an 11 by 17, which is a very big, okay? That's poster size. A normal poster is like 11 by 17. A lot of the big artworks that you get at anime conventions and stuff will be an 11 by 17. So, yeah. But the reason that I made it 11 by 17 is so that then I can fit it into whatever page thing I need. If I wanted to fit into like B4, this will fit into B4. It'll be a little squished, but it can fit in there. So it's like, I can scale it down. It's easier to scale down than to scale up. So I made it as big as possible. So if I want to, I can scale it down to make a physical copy. So yeah. Honestly, like the book size, if I ever wanted to print these, I was thinking like 6 by 9. So it being 11 by 17 is a little bit bigger than it. And yes, I did check that this will fit really nice and snug in like a 6 by 9. And still have like art flow, or like art overflow over here. I mostly try and keep everything within like this little action box. So there's like a little action box. Just like with animation, there's an action box. So yeah. That's how comic making is. Also, you'll notice that this is not a scroll comic. This is like a regular comic. And that's on purpose. I might adapt this into a scroll comic just to like see how it looks. But we'll just have to see. I need to see how much of a length of a page is like a scroll comic, because Webtoon has like certain things. It's weird. So yeah. I will say though, I don't think that it'll be able to be up on Webtoon, and one reason only, because the third page, like one of these pages, yeah, the 7th page has a bunch of blood. and Webtoon don't like that. So for release on like Webtoon and stuff, I might actually have to get rid of it. So I can show you this page. There's no like text on it. It's not even really spoilers very much. But yeah, this portion down here, well, now you know how I got all my scars. This portion, I might have to come in here and literally, like, you know, see how it's like blood on. I would have to turn off like all the blood, because there's like no way that any of this is gonna let me have that on there. I could probably do it in the snow here, but I don't think it being on him is gonna work. I mean, it's not like it's gushing or anything everywhere, but I know that it's not gonna go over well. Because Webtoon is like super testy. A lot of people don't realize this, but Webtoon is very, very testy. Webtoon wants it to be like, you know, clean. But as you can see, when I turn it off, it looks weird. It looks weird because it's like it feels like it should be bleeding. What I might do is just make it less bloody. I'll make a version with it being less bloody. So it still kind of has the bleed, but it's not as bloody. The things I have to do in order to censor shit. That's why, like, as much as I would love to post stuff on Webtoon, the reason I don't want to is because, I'm sorry, some of this is not, like, nice. There's blood. But I kind of do hate that I have to, like, censor stuff like that. Now, to be fair, I think Webtoon says, like, as long as the blood isn't, like, in every single panel, like, you might be fine. But you never know, because Webtoon is testy. I think Tapas is more of okay with it. And then the other places, like Globix Comics, there's a lot of other places that you can also host your webcomic on that usually are pretty lax. Just because they want creators to be able to post the stuff up that they want to, right? So, but Globix Comics, I think, will be fine. Because someone was telling how, you know, you have like a little bit of blood on your comic, Webtoon goes crazy. Like, Webtoon goes insane. Webtoon is like, no blood. I'm like, what about action stuff? Like, a lot of action manga or mangas and stuff like that. And you want to know what the funny thing is? What I might have to do? I might have to use the mosaic on this, which is basically, I have to pixelate it. And I think what I'm going to do for Webtoon specifically is that it'll be pixelated. Because that's the only thing I can think of doing in order for it not to get bonked. That's all I can think of doing. I just want to show the true reality of the darkness of you know, of this, and Webtoon's like, nah. It's also really funny because if you have a Webtoon original though and you show blood, it like doesn't care. They like don't care very much. But Webtoon does have its favorites. Everyone on Webtoon knows this. They're like, yeah, Webtoon has their favorites. And their favorites are so stupid. I will say though, Webtoon does favor a lot more romance stuff than it does like action stuff. But I don't think that that's a fault of Webtoon. I think it's more of just, that's kind of the reader basis. So. Anyways. We're going to be working on these ones. And I'll kind of go and show you my process of how I make, the process of how you make a comic. Or how I make a comic. So, of course, I have all the pages here. That's like that's the first thing you do. The great thing about this is I could always like, oh, the pop-up isn't here. When I right click, there's a pop-up that opens up that will like be like open page, blah, 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 combine pages, duplicate page, delete page, replace page, import pages, add page, you know, add different pages, go to this page, go to that page. So there's a lot of different ways that I can get to certain stuff. What's batch process? Oh, okay. I like that. Oh, there's also the button up here at the top that says story. And that has basically the same thing. So I can basically add in new pages, go between a previous page. So I can literally just go here and then I can say next page and it will pop up with the next page, which is really cool. So I don't actually have to like double click on this. I can just click in here and then say that, which is cool. So that's like one thing that's really cool. And again, I can also access all the pages at once. Which makes it super easy to get like bubbles, text, certain effects if I want certain effects to be in different areas. But the next thing that I do, or well, technically the first thing that I do is I thumbnail everything out on like a really small, I thumbnail like in a different, I make like open, I make like a file and I call it, you know, blah, blah, you know, whatever the comic that I'm going to be working on is. And I call it like sketches or thumbnails or whatever. Open this up. So I make a bunch of thumbnails that relatively fit within certain dimensions of things, right? So, and the thumbnails like here do end up changing. I do end up usually going through and changing them eventually. So this is more of just to get a quick laydown of the story. But originally this was going to be, I know you can't see it, but this was originally going to be this was page 37. But as you can see, now we're ending on page 29 instead. And this sketch page is completely different from this one. Sometimes it's just because I go through a process of drafting. So it's like, this is the first draft. The second draft is kind of going through here and cutting out things that don't need to be here and condensing things that do. There was like a whole page earlier up here that went into more of Straw's like backstory and stuff that I basically now have cut down to, you know, up to about here-ish. Those 21 pages. The rest of it is just explaining how Tra ended up coming to here. So that's what the rest of like the story is. This is cool. And just how it's set up. And then what I do is I like to call it the blocking pass. So the blocking pass is what we are going to be doing today. This is laying down the frames, putting in the 3D models, and then maybe adding effects here and there. Sometimes I add effects, sometimes I don't add effects. This one, you know, I've added some effects too. Some of this might change, subject to change. But as you can see, even though that the 3D models are in here, this is just more of to get an understanding of like what the hell I'm doing. So not all of these will have that. Some of them will, some of them won't. So in Clip Studio, there are manga, like typical manga frames. So what I do is I usually pick one of these. Pick one, and then I bring it over, and then I usually edit it. So it's not usually always the same. But the great thing about this is that it separates every single frame into its own little folder. And originally what I used to do is I would make the frames myself with like the vector line tool, and then I'd like make a folder with that. This one is so much quicker and easier. I don't know why I didn't do it this way. I think it's because I wanted round borders, and I was like, I want round borders. I'm like, no one does round borders. Shut the hell up. just pick one. I think we're gonna go with this one. So yeah, Clip Studio just kind of has this. If you don't have Clip Studio or anything like that, there's plenty of ways that there's like certain rulers and templates online that you can kind of follow. But I would say make sure the lines are really straight and make sure that what you want is what you want. So within Clip Studio, if we click on one of these, we can really edit, we can really change around this frame. So we can move the frame up, we can move the frame down, and we can also move these frames out here. We can just move it all around. We can just take this entire frame and just go woo 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 woo. But we're not going to do that. Let's put that back. We are just going to edit the size of this. Now, there's two different kinds of ways. You can just pull this little thing up, or there's this little arrow. It's a really tiny little arrow. It's a yellow arrow, and all you do is you pull it up, and this will extend it to wherever you want to extend it to. So this will extend all the way past the page. Now, what I do to get rid of the line, because there's usually a line that kind of ends up here. This time it didn't, so we're gonna leave that. Side also did. Usually at the top, the line will snap up here, and then there's this like black line, and I'm like, nah, we're getting rid of that. So this I mostly use when I want to do like a big establishing shot, or kind of just something that has like a lot going on. I'll do this like for in between here as well, or, you know, just depending on like what kind of things. Like, do I want it to be inside of a box, or do I want that box to be really big? So, hi baby. I know, this isn't unusual. I know. My little puppy is putting her paws, because I have this chair has an armrest on it. So she puts her little paws here. Yeah, and now you can't get back into there. Just to put her little paws back in her bed. And she stretches over and she puts her paws there. Off she goes. But I think, yeah, I'll pull this one back up, because this one's like a great idea. So this is all outside of its own border, right? So how I do it with comic creations, please don't just look at one thing for comics when you're trying to make a comic. Look at graphic novels. Look at comic books. Look at manga. Because that will all influence you to make your comics the way that you want to make them. So if you are thinking about making a comic, get your inspiration from a lot of different places. And don't even just look at comics, like graphic novels, comic books, or manga. You know, you could also look at manga and manhwa. You can look at just what people are posting online with comic stuff. Like, that has inspired me. But it also just really shows how you can really explore what you want to do with comic paneling. Because there's a lot of different ways to do comic paneling. You know, like this one is an example. I think this is a very basic, like simple, interesting comic paneling, right? It is definitely very center focused with a lot of how it is. And then you have like something that's like this, that's really unbalanced. It's very unbalanced, but I like how it is. I like that it's unbalanced, right? I was like thinking about moving it, but now I'm like thinking about it, I'm like, I actually like the unbalancedness of it. Like how his story, he is super meek, and then her story is like super epic and it's like huge, right? So, and by the way, I will tell you this much. It was a butt to get this to be the way I wanted it to. It was such a butt. I had to do this all by hand. Because there is a way of how you can make your own manga panels. Because just so you know, Clip Studio originally was named Manga Creator. Like, its origins is in creating manga and doing like manga stuff. So that's why this is here. And it's very, very good. I will tell you that much. So if I go, can't see it. I'm like, it's behind me, but I will bring the, oh, right. Hold on a minute. Let me unlock the locks. Sometimes I lock my stuff. So with manga, there is this tool called, of course, it's a tool group, but it's called Create Frame, or like Create Manga Frame. I think depending on where you are, it says different things. So you can either freehand one, or you can freehand one. You can make a rectangle. That's what I have selected all the time. You can make a polygon, which is what I did. I had to make these all polygons because they were straight. I needed them straight and perfect, but I knew I didn't need a rectangle because one problem with manga stuff is like sometimes they'll snap together and like move together, and it's like really annoying, and I keep forgetting what setting I need to deselect that. So yeah, that's not fun. But you can also make round ones. I didn't even know you could make a round one. Oh, I think it's because I had this for my square stuff to make a round rectangle, but you can actually make them circles. Which I was like, huh? What? I can make circles? So I'm like, hell yeah. I need a circle. I need a circle for this. So there's a lot of different, just gonna put it back where I normally have it. There's a lot of different things that you can do with manga frames that I think that people do need to explore. The other thing is learn how to cheat stuff. This is all cheated, by the way. Like, see again, another interesting manga panel, right? That we got here. Very, very action-y forward. But this is all cheated. So I believe that these characters are not... Yeah, he's like... If I were to bring this up, actually, he is in the ground. He's like partially in the ground. He has no clipped into the back into the ground, okay? But it's cheated in order to get the perspective that I wanted, right? So with blocking and everything, especially if you use 3D models, one thing that I've learned very quickly is learn to cheat it. And even if you're not using 3D models, don't be afraid to cheat your angles. Like, really, really, I mean, you gotta cheat it. It'll look a lot better. Because look at this. If I put, I'm gonna like duplicate this. So let's say that I put him back at where he needed to be. Yeah, he's like, hold on a minute. His like thing is really in the ground here. So this is actually how the height should be. You see the difference between this and this cheated one? And I use it a few times in this comic of cheating like this. Actually, funny enough, even this page is using cheating methods. You can kind of see it in here with this. The arch here is actually not aligned at the same that she is. But it creates an interesting perspective once I start like sketching more of it out, right? And it's just like, I see a lot of people when they're doing comics, and it's something that a lot of people need to learn. And I'm trying to learn it more through my own art as well, that it is okay to cheat angles. Professionals do it all the time. Sometimes there's some things that don't line up right. But does it look good? And if yes, then yeah. So you can cheat a lot of things if you just put your mind to it. And I say cheat, but it's not really a cheat. It's just more of making something look good without having just too much. And by the way, the only reason I do use 3D models a lot of times is to keep height perspective. It's just to mostly keep height perspective, but also it makes posing a lot of the characters really super quick and easy. So I don't have to be sitting here for like 5 hours to really sketch out all of different poses and stuff. I can just get something down really quick in order for them to be all posed. So a lot of people do use like 3D models like this because it just makes it faster. But one reason that I use it is to keep the characters consistent. Because a lot of my characters have a varying different amount of heights. And sometimes I do want that height difference to be shown. Like, to be really highlighted. So, if I want it to be really highlighted, then I need to. But again, there's some moments in this that I cheated. Like the height difference is wrong. It's like completely wrong. But does it look good? And if it does, then I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It also really helps me to understand like how the characters are sitting in the space a lot faster. That's why I use a lot of 3D models, because a lot of people say like 3D models are cheating and all this sort of stuff, and I'm like, it saves me so much time. I still have to sketch over everything. I still have to draw all the characters. Like, it doesn't fix that for me. But it makes it a lot easier for me to see how everything is being set up and for me to change things if need be. So, some of this stuff, like the sketch that I originally had, is a little bit different than what I ended up going with. So, yeah. So without any further ado, we are going to continue. Sorry, I like talking about like comic making because I think that, you know, there's a lot of YouTube videos out there about making comics and stuff, and I'm here to say, do what you feel is comfortable. You don't want to use 3D models? Cool. You don't have to. Do your own stuff. There's plenty of people that have made their own 3D models for their characters. Completely fine with that. I like that. I like that idea, actually. I would love... If I learned Blender a little bit more, I probably would do that too. The only issue is I would also want to rig it so I can be able to, like, move certain parts of it. So... Here, I kind of... a little bit more... narrow. And then... I have a weird... Oh, I can... Y'all. Oh. Oh. Yes. I think I know how to do this manga panel better. I think I know how to do this manga page so much better. We're gonna do photographs. We're gonna do photographs. Because if you guys don't know, Tra's entire thing is actually being a photographer. So art is like actual digital art, like art, right? And then Tra is photographer. I mean, art's into that too, but like, you know, technically everything that Tra touches is destroyed. So it would make more sense for him to have something like that. But now that I know this, we're gonna delete these. This one I'm leaving. This one I'm leaving. But the rest of these, we are going to go back to my handy dandy little manga tool that I was telling you guys about, and we are going to make our own little mangas. Our own little mangas. Our own little areas. I just want to make sure that I'm gonna be honest, I might have to go back in certain cases and like fix some of the point systems, because it tells me like how big the brush size is. Great thing is, all of these are vector layers, so a lot of this is vector. And if you're making a comic, please make everything with vectors. You're going to love it in the long run. Because again, it's easier to make things bigger and then squash them down with vector than make something small and blow it up. Because I'm going to be honest, sometimes with vector, like, it can even get blurry. So you gotta be careful. You're gonna make it bigger. So we're gonna go in here and we're gonna make our own. I don't need that on. So I don't make it photograph. So maybe not that big. Is that big enough for a photograph? I think it's big enough for a photograph. Unless we want to do Polaroids. Do we want to do Polaroids? You know, we'll do regular photographs. We'll do regular. Because then this is going to end up being... So what I actually... I know that there's no... What I'm gonna do is I'm going to fill it with just a color. So you can kind of see what I'm trying to do here. Oh. Whoop. Now, I don't want it to completely go beyond these lines. So, the thing is, okay, this is an action line, right? So, between here and here, these are margins. When you are reading a book, there's a possibility that it could get bended inwards. So, this side would be attached in at the corner here. So, I don't want things to really go beyond, like, this area too much. Or else you won't be able to see the full thing. But putting it a little bit over is fine. This is fine to me. Then I'm going to take this and make a duplicate of it. So it can be on top. And then we are going to take another photograph here and move it over here. Oh my, this is gonna be so good. This is gonna be so good. This is gonna be so good. Because now I get to draw basically a bunch of fun scenes with all of them together. And I'm gonna make this one. There. Oh, that. Okay. Let's out of the. That looks cool. See, like I said, sometimes you want to have interesting framing, right? So if I pull up, I'm gonna pull up the text right. I might be editing this text a little bit, so we are actually going to be editing this. So the whole entire story, I'm just gonna spoil it because you guys are gonna end up reading it probably anyways. Stuff happens. Art finds Tra and gives new life. It gives them a new chance at life. Ta-da! Literally, Art was like, I'm taking this stray puppy home. Like that's literally the entirety of this comic, honestly. There is a message behind it, but I won't spoil that for you guys. You have to read. There is a little bit of a message in it. And actually the message is something that I hear from a lot of my friends. And the story, like the story of Tra, is actually more of a reflection of the pressures that I feel I was placed on, that were placed on me as a child. And also me like going from like childhood into adulthood and still having that pressure being put on me, and also like a little bit of my depression as well. And then finally it was just like, I guess like some conversations with my friends just like always would keep me out of it, but it's usually something that like my partner says and all of that sort of stuff that makes it feel like I don't really want to go away anymore. So yeah, I want to live. So it's definitely very personal. Like the story itself is very personal. I feel like there might be some people that might connect with it. There might be some that aren't. But yeah. But I want to at least finish this comic, literally just so I know I have finished a comic and then post it out. Oh my goodness. You know what? I've seen everybody being playing Pal World recently. Now I want to play Pal World. I know that's such a weird jumping off point, but now I want to play Pal World with everyone. Oh my goodness. Y'all guys, I got a question. Is it weird for streamers to like pop out of the blue and just be like, "Hey, you want a game?" I don't know. I got like a message from like another fellow VTuber, and they're like, "Hey, do you want to do gaming?" And I was like, "What?" New friend unlocked. I'm like, what? This is what happens when an extrovert gets picked up, when an introvert gets picked up by an extrovert. Anyways, so I'm gonna text. Oh. Oop. I gotta be careful with like text stuff. Oop. No, not tea. I don't need tea. I just need to type. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Let me. It's like so weird. Sometimes I have to do things. By the way, this is a very nice like pen texture-y like thing that I have, and I just liked it because it just looks good. It just looks like so natural. Like as if I drew it myself without actually drawing it myself. Oh wait, no, I wanted it to be pen. I want it to be thick, but I don't want it. But it also makes it like different from like these. Now, to be fair, I am thinking that I maybe should change these to be more like something else, because sometimes texture stuff doesn't work, but I'm like, but I like it being textured. It makes it look nice. Considering that it will fit with how my art style is, right? So oh my gosh, come on, let me select this. Again, sometimes they don't let me select what I want to select. Sometimes you just gotta go to the file itself. You know what? I'm going this over here. So you kind of go zoom, 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 right? And then very like out the orientation. I like it being like in order. So I know what is what. And then what else do I want to add into this? I want it to be like, you know, several different like pictures of them doing stuff. They're doing it. They're doing different stuff. They gotta do different stuff. I want each frame to be something different. So of course friends. Yes, maybe travels. Maybe traveling. And what I might do is actually have this be a collection of actual photographs that I've taken. So this would be a collection of actual photos. And if people know what the photos are, congratulations. Here, how about explored? Yeah, but like each one kind of like has something connected to it. Oopsies. That looks so cool. Okay, I like this. I like this paneling. I like this paneling. I like it a lot. See, sometimes, you know, figure out new things. This is so cool. I like this. It's very cute. I know it's all red right now, but don't worry, it won't be red forever. Excuse me. Also, warning, blinding. This will be blinding. Ah! I did warn you. You know what? I'm just gonna make it like a little off-white, just to save your eyes. Just to save your eyes. It doesn't save it very much. You know the funny thing is, the white that I have for Traw's stuff is actually not even pure white. It's like off-white. Not even pure. Okay, so I need to organize this. So photo 1, 2, and honestly, I will say one thing. Please name your frames. Please name them. You will save yourself time in the long run by just naming it. Oop, I forget that doesn't work. All in. There should be. Oh. This. Okay. So really weirdly, even though that this is the last frame, because I have it being that it's supposed to be stacked one on top of the other like this. There we go. So it has to be organized. It has to be organized, photo 1 being on the bottom. Oh, but the top frame here needs to be actually the bottom one. So this frame needs to be, so it's organized from bottom to top, frame 1, photo 1, photo 2, photo 3, photo 4. But at least they're all named, so I know what goes where. That's the important part, knowing what goes where. So, we're gonna actually start... Uh-oh. We're gonna actually start with the bottom one. Just, like, turn it down. So... we're going to now use... oh, wait. That. And then, where is... there he is. Yeah, mortality is short. But, funny enough, mortality is taller than Art. Right. Everyone cry for Art. Art is just so short. Art's a little short snack. Like, that was on accident, okay? You will also notice that morality, I do use a female model. If you want a model or like a character to look androgynous, use the female model and just make them like thinner, or like if you want to make them like thicker or whatever, just forget about the boobs. That's how I've done it with mortality, and it's worked pretty well. So, I don't really think I have very many poses that could work. So, again, this is like the pose thing, right? You know, I got it. I do use poses, but I usually just use poses just to kind of like see what I have, what I can do. And a lot of these are like hugs. I have a slap pose. I don't know why I got this pose, okay? Honestly, what I might do is sometimes I pose it myself if I don't really have poses that might work for it. Because that's kind of like the issue sometimes, is finding poses that work. Again, you can get really specific with the Clip Studio Asset Store on finding poses. But sometimes you just won't look out. You just won't look out. Yeah, I have a few interesting poses. By the way, if anyone notices, yes, there is a folder called NSFW. I will not open that. I have accidentally opened it on stream once, and I was like, ah! At least it's all 3D poses. There's nothing like too crazy in there. There is one thing that I can no longer open, and that's the small assets thing, and that's because I have something in there that I think would actually be bad. Look, I got it for certain things, and it was part of NSFW. Honestly, I might move that 3D model into NSFW so I know not to open it on stream. Oh my gosh. This is the life of an artist trying to do their best. Like, sure. Yeah, I don't think I can find anything that kind of works. This pose is really cool, but that's not what we need right now. We need, like, a hug pose, but a lot of the hug poses that I have are either very flirtatious or do not leave room for Jesus. And I mean, we don't need a no room for Jesus hug. We need like a nice hug. And one that doesn't involve kissing, because a lot of these are like kissing hugs. Yeah, I might have to just make it myself because I am looking and looking and looking and I'm not finding anything. So, it's gonna get a little crazy. So, these are supposed to be opposite each other. Boop. There. then cheat it like this. When we mean cheat it, by the way, it just means like turning it to be different, right? So let me grab you. You know what? Let me turn the text off. Grab you, and then I may kind of like down a little bit because and then I want them both holding their child. Again, I don't really need to worry about the rest of the bottom half because it's only going to be showing from like maybe waist up. So it's going to be showing like maybe about here up. By the way, yes, Shra does have his like face stuff, but that was just so I could get the scar right. I don't really care about it for the eyes and things. Oop. What I originally was gonna have it is that they're both like up and name. Yeah, the problem is his arm is too massive. His arm is too big. Yeah, I don't know why I like decided on making their arms. I think it's because I wanted like monster claws, and I feel like people just weren't doing certain like monster claw stuff like correctly. Because like everyone just does like, oh well, they have human hands. Why? What? Okay, and I gotta make it kind of look like they're holding up Fred. Look, there's a lot of cheating going on. Oh my gosh. You will notice that things are very complicated. See, instead of spending... Now, a lot of people might be like, well, aren't you spending a lot of time just like trying to finagle this stuff? Yeah, but like... This is easier to do, right? So let me just do it like that. Yeah, I might have to make it that these two are like more separate and then like leave. Yeah, I think that might work. Has their follower goal been hit yet? No. Sadly, no. Gotta make room for the dog. Yeah, I don't think like it will. I say a lot of stuff, but honestly, I'm not really that big. I'm not really like that popular and stuff. So it's very hard to like hit certain follower goals when that happens. Funny enough, I have like maybe almost like 700 on YouTube already. So it's where I am here. I need to go sleep. Oh my gosh, yes. I have noticed I attract a lot of Europeans. No, ads starting. No. Well, the ads will make you go to sleep. Go, sleep. Or I'll hit you myself with my giant monster claws. I'm in Asia. Oh, you're in Asia. Okay. Interesting. Well, now I'm expanding I'm Mr. Worldwide now. I got Europe, I got South America, I got Canada. I got the Netherlands too. We got like most of Europe. I think the only place that I don't have yet is Africa. I have everywhere else. Yes, I do have Australians. Oh yeah, because he like yeah, because of how he's yeah, because he's what, living in Germany? Oh no, ads. I was gonna say he's living in Germany from what I remember. For a minute I thought he lived where I lived, but no. I think maybe he did, but I think no, I don't think he did. I think that's another Fox boy that does art that I'm confusing him with. There's another one. Really hard to finish. But you're not gonna see of it. You know what? There. Yeah. That. You gotta, ooh, you know what? Let's put it lower. I've been waiting for the Emperor. Not here when you do it. Too bad for me, I guess. I know, right? I've noticed like everyone wants. I might open up commissions just like a your character here Empreg art. I might do that. I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about it, and it's so stupid that you guys make me think about it. But hey, whatever makes money, right? in this economy, whatever makes money. Oh, it is what it is. I need a hand pose. No. I don't know what this is. It's like I'm like, I don't know what it squeezes. What do it squeeze? If you enjoy doing it, it's best money from it. I'm more of a traditional artist, by the way. I mean, I originally came from traditional art. I was a charcoal artist. My medium was charcoal. So that's why the way I do art is the way that it is. A way of how a lot of my art is done is very much because of traditional. I will say that did help a lot. She was difficult. Oh, I found it easy. I loved charcoal drawing. Like, it's definitely very hard if you're not, like, used to it, right? If you're not used to, like, the medium, right? But I had been doing charcoal drawings for, like, a few years, so. I prefer painting with watercolor or acrylic paint. I tried that. I was terrible. Those are probably my worst mediums. I think it's just because, like, you know, watercolor can be somewhat forgiving, but acrylic sometimes really isn't. But I like charcoal because I love value. I love it just being black and white. I love value. So my little happy brain understands value a lot easier than colors. Which is really crazy because a lot of my artwork is done in colors. Acrylic is very forgiving, much more than watercolor. That was not my experience. My acrylic dried super duper fast. It was not forgiving whatsoever. But then again, I guess it dries fast, so then you can draw over, you can paint over it, you know? Whereas watercolor isn't like that. It bleeds, it bleeds. I've actually made cosplays with acrylic before, but it was not good. Oh. But yeah, let me I almost forgot that kind of I might have to change and adjust these once I start drawing a so not only for later. But at least I got the pose kind of how I want it. What else was it? Oh. I know exactly what pose to use. I basically need to use them again. And then I know this is quick. You need the read. I don't know what that is. Yeah, but I just like when I was doing traditional work, I liked pastels and I just like being able to have like tactile things and doing things with my hands. Which is very funny because I actually hate a lot of stuff getting on my hands. So, but I just realized that I like more tactile stuff. It dries slower than water. Yeah. You know what we have here, though? I was thinking about trying gouache. Because gouache is like a really good in-between between watercolor and acrylic. But, you know, it can also be built upon, just like acrylic or watercolors. So, yeah. But again, like, the one issue is I don't really have as much time to do a lot of traditional work anymore. What I'm trying to do now, because I have a sketchbook, right? Wash looks fun, never tried it though. Yeah, it's like a good in-between. It's like a good in-between of it. I've tried it like a little bit, but it was like a friend's, so I couldn't like use it completely. But I have this new little sketchbook, like it's like a pocket sketchbook, and I've just been sketching away in it, honestly. Just like trying to get back into doing just sketching work. Though I will say this little sketchbook is better for like just a regular pencil and stuff, not with doing charcoal. I do have actually another sketchbook that I need to find that is for charcoal because it's like it's toned paper, so it's able to like take the charcoal a lot easier and it doesn't like smudge or anything. So that's what that's why I want to get back into doing charcoal drawings again. But charcoal drawings, I could get, like, to be really, like, realistic. I have to go. Good luck. Yes, thank you. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, we're just working on comic stuff right now. So we're doing my comic. My lore comic. Needs to get done. But yes, please do sleep. Sleep is more important. This would be funny. This would be funny, but that's not kind of how their dynamic is. No. I need... I have a way of how I might do the more places thing with this one. There was that one. Oh, mail. There we go. But. And. Color. So this one he is gonna. Color. Because he's supposed to be on this. We got monster feet, man. We got monster feet. Then need to get the like what the proposal one is. I have a proposal one. Sometimes you gotta mix and match stuff. So excuse me as I go through this. This is gonna be really fast. Do. Ah, here we go. No. Yeah, get that one. That's the wrong one. Yeah, no. Oh, yeah, no, he is not proposing. It's not being proposed to. Oh, wait, wrong person to, there we go. Boop. Alright. Boop. Stop moving the head like that. Also, you, I need to move you for the back. That's what I wanted. So this is technically a part of another comic I'm working on, but I didn't do, like, all the stuff yet. And it's like how, the two kind of ended up falling in love. How did Tra end up bagging a baddie? I'm gonna be honest. Mortality is just a baddie. It's like, how did a himbo end up, like, bagging just, like... Okay, the dude wears, like, Victorian wear. It's crazy. Funny enough, I did the Victorian thing as just a joke, but then I was like, oh, well, he's supposed to be connected to, the idea of the King in Yellow. And guess what? The King in Yellow story also follows, like, some Victorian England stuff, and I was like, that was not on purpose. Okay, I need to, like, get a... Everything is so close, and I need this to be bigger. I'm doing this on my main screen. It's on my drawing tablet. No, give me that thumb. Out more. The one thing with, like, posing 3D models is you kind of have to think about how the... Oh, yeah, that is totally not how a thumb bends. Okay. Now he's gotta... Now I gotta figure out... supposed to kiss it. Very hard to bring his Because his hand's so big. I'm gonna be honest, sometimes I like his hand being the way that it is, and other times I'm like, your hand is a problem! Here, you know what? Let me just move his hand to where I want. Oh, no. Way. This way. I like moving it more precisely with the arrows. There we go. Oh, it's gonna. Yeah, it's his like thumb. Oh, that's also not how you move a thumb. Yeah. I unlocked it so it doesn't like it can basically move on its own however it wishes. No, I kind of want this. Now I have to figure out how. I think how I had it for when I was doing this is I actually made it that his thumb. It does look weird, but it's how it kind of has to be in order for it to work, or else it kind of looks wrong. I don't want to censor him kissing. Or sometimes you have to cheat it in really weird ways in order for it. I'm not even. Oh, what is? Oh my god, his hand is inside of him. No, that's not how that works. No, and that's gonna bug me. Huh. There we go. I think I got it. And now, I have to position it in here. I still, of course, want the action to. I'm gonna roll it this way. There we go. Organizing 3D models is always so fun. That's why I like to call it the blocking. It's not fun. It's not fun, but once it's done, it's done. 100. Like trying to remember what the text was saying as well. Because the text does help me place out things. Okay. There was a new... Oh yeah. Like friend one. That was pretty cool. You know what? I might actually... for new friends. Ugh. Everything that I'm clicking on is not right. Why are these? I was like, why are these not on the same? And then need to do edit this. And then let me get wearing something. No, not George. There you go. I think what I might do actually, have him be like, I would like it that he's like more. This also just makes it look awkward because they're so far apart. Thinking that something like that. They look more like friends. Oh, and yeah, problem with his arms again. What I usually just do, I just there we go. Yeah. Photo. Oh my gosh. Like I was just like showing that. And but there we go. Working. Oh, excuse me. Holy snap. That just came out. Oh. That's from the onions. I had red onions today and oh my goodness. It was bad. Well, it wasn't that bad, but... No, I wish that I had, like, a camera one. Maybe one day I'll get a camera. And this. I like that. I like that. So let me move this over here. So, you know, you can kind of see his like his progression of like his new life. He got a new life with my new life. My new life. And then the last one I need to do is up here. Yeah, mind, we still have 2 more pages to do! Honestly, these 2 are probably gonna be a lot less intense, because this one just has a lot of models. And because I didn't really have a sketch idea for all of these, so... it ended up being a little... not so helpful. So... let's get... art. And we get... then I need... and then I need mortality. I need to put images on these guys because I'm starting to find it hard to find everybody. Okay. And then let's get some poses. Actually, there is a pose that I do have that I think... ooh, you know what? This could... and then I'll just edit this one. I know I do have like a wave one. I need it. I need it. This? I don't think that that is hard. And figuring out what works with... and I'm mostly just like getting the poses and then I'm gonna position them because they will have a certain position. Na 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 no. I lose this pose a lot for mortality, but it works for him. level down a little bit. Or this, the color down a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna need a different pose. This. They always hold a cane. They always have a cane. Do they need the cane? They don't need the cane. They don't. They just have a cane. So I'm like trying to make it so that they're holding their cane. Alright. And now we're gonna position everyone. So R has to be forward. Kind of how she is. I made art like very. I think like she's very flamboyant, like how I am, but a lot more extroverted than I actually am. And then I'm gonna have him be here. Like have his hand be different. His hand needs to have a wave. No, not a sleigh hand. No, a wave. Wave hand. Flat, open. Waving. Yum yums. Someone in my D&D group says like yum yums a lot. And now it's a now I say it too. Yum yum. This one? And then want him to back. It's hard because you are so tall. I want to make it like up. I will say that there are certain angles that you can use, didn't use when doing certain stuff, just to get like certain different effects. This depends on kind of like the effect that you want from this like down. But it doesn't block her hand. The other thing is I can make him a bit taller. And then again I'm gonna it's kind of weird because of the arm here. Maybe it's just because it's not open. That one? No, flatter. It needs to be flat. No. That looks like, I don't know why, I just like use that as like Bible hands sometimes. It's just like, there is a, no, closed fingers. There you go, spread fingers, but then I need, I'll make it as spread. when you wave. It's not like it's whole spread eagle, man. There we go. I might adjust it still later, but this looks good. It looks good. I mean, it's a lot different than the sketch that I had. But I think I like it with like the photographs because I feel like photographs like are the idea of like sharing memories. So it works. Alright.
Welcome, my devotee. Enjoy the chaos of the forest.
Oh my gosh, welcome, welcome in. Enjoy the chaos of the forest. Hello, hello. Oh, hello! I remember you. It's a me. It is a you. I remember you from TikTok. Yes, very good. Very good. Alright. Gotta draw everybody with a partner. Let's do this. How do I want to do this? I knew, like, I had, like, a newer idea of how I kind of wanted to do this. I think I might actually make this differently. We're currently working on a comic that's a lore comic about the male model that I have here, because their name is Tra. So... No, that's not what I wanted. No. Where's the manga stuff? There we go. Going to this. Ooh, that means I could probably flip. No. Because what I'm going to do now is have the moon be up here. And have... And that could work. And I'm trying to like make this like diagonal. So it goes like that. Yeah, we get it. Get it. So let us get to the models. Oh, that's a pretty interesting emote. Oh my gosh. Models. Models. I need his partner. Where is mortality? Scroll past him. There he is. I need to put images with these. Where? I keep forgetting who's who. And then I gotta do me. Or, well, it's mine. Very nice. Very interesting. Very nicely done. Da 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 da. And let me get my partner. No, that's someone else. There's my partner. There he is. I don't know why in the lore I made my partner like so huge. He's not that tall. This is not our height difference, but we do have a height difference. He's just slightly taller than me. Yeah, he's just like slightly taller. Okay, now I gotta kind of like figure out kind of how I want to lay, because they're gonna be like on a hill. So, ooh, I could like angle a plane. Where are? Oh wait, no, keep it in here. There we go, the primitives. I could do a sphere. That might be nicer, but might be easier. I'll do that. And kind of, so I kind of know how I can like lay them on the angle. It's mostly just how to angle their bums. That's it. I think this is probably going to be the most complex one that I'm going to be working on. Comes to things. Yeah, I don't need that. No, no. Nope. No, I need like sitting. Standing, no, sitting. There we go. They also have laying down in here. I don't know why I have the laying downs in here. I think I just have it in here for whatever random reasons. By the way, I wanted to know, like, what exactly, like, games are you, like, thinking of playing? Because I don't got many, like multiplayer games, I'll tell you that much. I got, like, zilch, because I'm more of a single player. I know you did, but I want to know, like, what exactly. You're not really telling. Where are some use that one, but then change it. Okay. What's that? Oh, my team mostly plays single games, but I like survival and horror. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't really have many survival games. Like, I have Monster Hunter. Does Monster Hunter count as survival? I don't think so. That's the one issue, isn't it? You know what? I'm gonna use this. That is not the... That's not the right one. There we go. Okay, and then I can... What? Oh. Need to grab her toes. There we go. And then she... I don't know how I feel about adding you, my guy. I don't think you're a terrible person. That's not... It's just more of like, I don't really know you too well kind of situation. Wait, you can make lists? Wait, am I learning something new about Steam that I've never knew before? I think. No, I make a list and pin it in the DM. Ah, I see. There we go. And I need you to be looking to the side. Yeah. I might have to make this a little bit so I can kind of see positions. I might add you later, like later today. There's something that helps me in the person out. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. And then put I and his partner, and I gotta put my partner. I gotta put my partner chilling. Like, was it sitting and waiting? Sitting and waiting? There we go. And I have him. There. No, he needs to go, like, he needs to be further back. Or else this image that I have in my head doesn't work. There we go. And there we go. That's what I want. Don't. That's good. And then I can put little George there. And then I gotta get these two. I think I can do a couple one. They're kind of like leaning up against each other. But they're sitting down there. If I have one that works, that's a... They need to be sitting on the ground. I could do that one. It's just a problem that I need to see if you can be able to. This is always the question. Because they're supposed to be looking up at the night sky. It's like a little... It's like a double date. Oh, no, I'm moving her leg. I'm gonna figure out. No, I don't want him to be moving that way. However, I guess. Gotta like kind of think about how they, when you like sit on the ground, and like how you sit on the ground. How one sits on ground. Or how does one sit on ground? It looks so tiny. But then again, that's kind of their height difference. Why am I so obsessed with height differences? I gotta stop that. Next set of characters I make, they're gonna be similar heights to where it's not crazy. I feel like some people will be like, no, you're ruining it. You could have made him height different. Oh my gosh. There was like one person that's like making like their own comic or something like that, and the height difference between the two characters was like crazy. I was like, whoa. that guy is the size of a house. And then they were like, yeah, don't question how it works. I'm like, wasn't going to, but now I am. Gosh. I actually think that this is just like, or like what I'm envisioning for this. Kind of looks like he's choking him, but he's not. Also. You're not gonna see his head, doesn't matter. Whoa, what the hell? I don't know what I just did. But what I did wasn't what I wanted. And I gotta make... let me... There you go. Finally. And now we have just the final page, and then we're done. And... Yeah, guys, do you think that we can do it fast enough to where we don't need to worry about the ads? You think we can do it fast enough? I don't think we can. Save. Everything's already been saved, so thank you. You know what the funny thing is? I have that save thing always on, and people have used it like in the middle of games, and there was one time where I was dealing with a situation, and they were like, and someone redeemed save, and I was like, save me! Save me from this nightmare! I think it was a game where I couldn't like save. I could only save if it was like I ended the day or something like that. So I was like, okay, well, I can't just save in the middle of the day. It is what it is. I think I'm gonna need to use the manga thing. I need to make my and I need to do my manga maker. There we go. Just because the way of how this framing works isn't gonna. Oop. Oh no, is this somewhat bigger? I need to redo it. No, you guys are connected. But now you're not connected. Perfect. Wanted that to be a bit blurred. The one problem is like it does this like shifty thing, and I don't like it. See where it like shifts like that? I don't like that. So I have to like redo the thing completely. And then I can there we go. Frame 2 does not belong inside of. Stop doing that. There we go. And technically frame 5 is this, but it's gonna take up the entirety of this, so it doesn't matter. Okay, I need to now go into parts. Object. I think it's under furniture. Well, I can go in here, and then I think I can search up arch. There we go. That's what I need. Oh no, ad starts in a minute. No. Yeah, let me separate these guys out. That's neat. Thing. Closer in on this arch. And we're pretty much done with the blocking. Yippee! So I can't. There we go. Yay! An ad's played right when that happened. I'm just futzing with it now. Yippee! Yippee! I can mark that off of the things I needed to do. You know what? I don't think that this actually... Oh, gosh. Once ads are done, you know what? While ads are going, I'm gonna go find somebody for us to raid. While ads are going. Okay, we have a few. Oh, there's more than a few. There's more than a few. Well, there's a good handful of people. Yeah, a lot of people are playing Pal World. A lot of people are playing Pal World. I'm not surprised that a lot of people are playing Pal World. I would love to, but it's not my cup of tea. It's not really my cup of tea. You know what? Because they raided me last time, we're gonna raid them back. Because they raided me last time, I'm going to raid them back. That is what the plan is. So... let me... put my drawing away. Oh. Chatting room. Alright. I'm gonna get the raid set up for us. But thank you guys so much for joining, and thank you for the follow. Actually, I don't think I have it in here. We do have a goal that if I hit 500 by the end of the year, in my lore, well, technically in arts lore, because I'm a different character, but in lore, I have a brother whose name is Order, and I have to draw them with Mpreg. So if we had 500 followers by the end of the year, I will be drawing that. And yes, it will be drawn on stream. Why I have chosen this? I don't know. I'm an artist. It's an easy way to give back to my community. So without any further ado, let me get the raid message for us. And we are going to be raiding my lovely friend Rufus, who is a cleric VTuber. He plays a lot of MMO RPGs. He mainly plays Final Fantasy, but he does play also a lot of a variety of older games as well. So you can always find him. Probably, more than likely, he's always going to be playing Final Fantasy. Just please do be a little bit more respectful in his community. He is not 18 plus. He is more for, I believe he's like 13 and up. So please be a little bit more respectful in his area. I know like over here, like you can be a little bit more lax with things. But over there, he's a lot more of a chiller guy. So, so chill with him as he plays through a lot of his MMOs and whatever But he raided us last time, and because I'm ending stream early, we are going to raid him. Because we can. Because why the heck not? He is right now in the middle of like a break, but we're still gonna raid him. Because we can. We can still do it. You know? I think he's doing a break right now, maybe because of ads, or maybe he's getting... Might be getting food. Okay. It's okay, we can still raid him. We can still show him love. Still show him the chaos. But anyways, if you guys want to ever see anything more from me, we do have a VODs channel, but we also have a main channel, which a new video came out. And there's another video that will be coming out, not next week, but the week after. So if you guys want to ever see any edited videos, or of course any of my edited clips, you can always go over to the YouTube. Of course, we also do have TikTok, Twitter or /X, Blue Sky, and of course I do also post in the YouTube community posts as well. So we got a lot of different socials. You can always, of course, join our community in the Discord if you want to. We are going to be having Discord community night on Friday. So without any further ado, as I always say, may the stars guide you. Until next time. Bye.